Okay, next up is the email automation screen. This is an amazing screen that allows us to do a large number of emails and automate things and keep in contact with our staff and managers and contacts all in one screen. The basic layout is that all of your emails are down below, and by selecting any one of them, it's going to display the details of that automated email up above. With each email automation, we have a couple different features. So why don't we go ahead and pull one up here, and let's take a look at this one. With each mail, we get the ability to assign a name. You can change this name at any time. We want to make sure that each name is different, so we don't want to have any duplicates. And then we go ahead and select a trigger, and this is a trigger or action that causes the email to be sent. And I think we have over 20, I should count them, 25 different triggers. We have triggers on new contact save. That means every time you save a new contact, an email gets created and sent. We have the first appointment scheduled. That would be the first appointment for a contact. And then we have follow-up appointments. So that means everything after the first. Sometimes you want to send a different email for their first appointment as opposed to a follow-up. So we can do that. We have a contact birthday. We have on a new invoice save. So when a new invoice is saved, we can send an email. We have a new contact referred. That means when a referring contact, we can send a thank you to that contact who referred the new contact, which is a nice way. It's done automatically. We have an unpaid due date. So if an invoice is not paid based on an invoice date, we can go ahead and send an email for that. We have once an invoice is paid in full, we can send an email there. Once an appointment gets completed, a first appointment, we can send an email on that, or perhaps even a follow-up appointment after the first one. We can send an email for that. If we're going to be using packages, as we displayed before, we can send automated emails when those packages reach a critical level. If there's just 2 packages remaining, we can send an email there, or 1 package remaining, we can send an email there as well. We can send an email at a specific workday time. This is a very open email, and we're going to go over this one specifically. And then we have follow-up emails. Follow-up emails can be sent after a specific amount of time in which a patient has not scheduled. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, and up to 5 different follow-ups, and I'll go over those in a little bit detail with you. We have a scheduled appointment reminder. Now remember, we had a button that sends that reminders automatically when we click the button. However, this one is based on a set of a day time. So basically, reminders can be set automatically 1 or 2 days before the scheduled appointment. We can go ahead and send appointment reminders to those contacts, and that's one of the first ones we're going to go over. We can email an appointment reminder button. Remember, we had a button that we used. We can set a template for that button. We have proposed times. Remember, when we selected different proposed times in both the main and the week view, an email appeared. Well, this will give us the details of that template. We can go ahead and set those details. So that's a really nice feature that we can have. We also have the ability to send a week view schedule button. When we emailed that week view to the staff, we can customize that template as well. We have a button on the invoice, which we'll go over a little later, that emails invoice, and we can set those deals. And then we have last is the canceled appointment. That means when someone cancels an appointment or is no-show, we can send a follow-up email. Let's say they've canceled, but they haven't scheduled another appointment in X amount of days, and you would set the days. You can then have an automated email based on that canceled appointment. So that's really effective in making sure that your communication stays in handy on the contacts. Okay, let's go ahead and take some, and a lot of these have already been created for you, but you're feel free to create as many as you want and customize them as you need it. So let's go ahead and go on one of the scheduled appointment reminders. And this particular email is a reminder that gets sent generally 1 or 2 days before a scheduled appointment at a specific time, and that's gonna remind the contacts. Now, for each email template, we have available fields here. Now these are kind of specific data to each email template, and what we can do is we can then replace these automatically in the email with the context. So for example, this email says dear contact first, right? So in actuality, their actual first name will be replaced in the email with that. So we can really customize the email based on that. In fact, for appointment reminders, we have all of these different data values, whether it's their contact full name or contact last name. We can include a map link. Remember we talked about the map link. If we put in the company address, then we can send a map link. So we can do that as well. And we have remaining package numbers, staff name, appointment date, time. So we can really make sure that the email to them is customized just for that specific appointment, and it's really beneficial. And so what we'll do is we can send that 2 days, or we can change it as many days as we want. So we'll just go ahead and hit 1. We could theoretically do 1 week or 1 month, but we'll just set it at days before scheduled. And then this is at a specific time of day, and we can select any time of day we want those reminders sent. And we'll go ahead and click update. Now another great feature is the ability to add to calendar, which is like an ICS attachment. And basically what this is a small attachment that goes with the email, and people who receive this email on their phone or even on their computer can double click it, and it'll automatically add to their calendar. Whether it's Outlook or Apple or iPhone or anything like that, it'll read that and it'll automatically add the appointment to this calendar, which is a great way for people to remember there. So we would do that by clicking this. If we check this option here, it's going to add an attachment, which is an add to calendar. So that's a great feature. I would recommend you sending them. People seem to like it, so they can quickly add it to their own calendars, and it's much easier for them to remember patients. And don't forget to click update once we've made changes. We can also add any other attachments to any other email. If we want to send, we just simply click on the add attachment button, and we can go ahead and just click up there and add it. It'll add that. Click update, and it'll add that attachment to the email. So there may be specific PDFs, instructions, coupons, or map directions, whatever you want to send them. You can attach up to 3 different files per email, so that's very helpful. We can control whether emails, sometimes we want to pause them, sometimes we can pause an email. If it's paused, it will not be sent out, and we can resume it. So that gives us a way to pause it while we're working on it. This feature here called display and preview emails before sending. On all the emails that I've been creating for you, they're displayed first, right? So they show up on your computer. But after a while, you won't need that anymore. You'll know that the emails are correct. You'll know that they get sent out perfect, and you'll just want them to be sent out without notifying you, without you having to click send. So if you uncheck this, emails are going to be sent automatically without showing up. It's on your computer. I do recommend just to make sure to keep this selected for the first couple of days or first couple of times until you know that emails, especially if you've got many appointment reminders, you won't want to display 30 or 40 emails very often, but maybe the first time, just to make sure they're correct, they're the way that you want them, and that they're accurate, and then go ahead and send them, because you don't want to send out inaccurate emails or if the data or something wrong. So maybe the first 1 or 2 times you want to display those emails. We also have the ability to put in any of these data values either in the subject or the main thing. Now, because this is Excel, we have some limitations, but when we want to go to a new line, this is important. If we just hit enter, it's going to go to the next field down below. So in Excel, what we use is we'll use the Alt Enter, and I've left instructions up here. So Alt Enter will go to a new line. Okay, so just remember that that's important. And if you want to, it's kind of a limited space here, but basically you can just use the scroll. You can use the up and down scroll buttons to view the entire, if it's getting cut off, if it's too long. Okay, so that is the scheduled appointment reminders. And a little bit about the email, this email. We can replicate any emails. You probably wouldn't want to replicate this particular email because you don't want more than one reminder being sent out a day, but there are other email templates that you may want. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. And I wanted to show you, let's see, a followed up appointment. Now here's a followed up appointment. This particular one, we says after an appointment's been scheduled, we would like to send a follow-up email 1 day after a follow-up appointment is scheduled. So that means not a first appointment, but after it's been scheduled, we can go ahead and send this email. And then basically this allows us to just send an email saying, or maybe it's a reminder, but it says, you know, it's the number of days actually after it's been scheduled. So this can be quite helpful when you're doing that. We can also set this to days, weeks, or months. And so that's very, very helpful when you're sending out. I may also add an immediate action so that you could send an email out immediately after it's been scheduled. That might be a little bit helpful as we add some more features to this one. Just like any other email, we have the ability to add attachments, resume and pause, or we can replicate. If you replicate, you'll just click this button. It'll create a duplicate email, and that's really helpful when you want to create additional ones. To create a new email, we just click on New, and then we'll go ahead and give it a name. Maybe we want to send out a monthly report. Okay, so we'll call it monthly report. Okay, and what's the trigger? Well, we're going to use a trigger. We're going to call this a specific date and time. Okay, and so we are going to find that specific trigger down here, and we called it, let's pull it up here, specific workday time. Okay, once we say that, we can get the durations. We're going to send this every one, and then we'll just click month. Okay, and then we're going to stick at 8 o'clock a.m. And then we have choice. If it's a first, we can send it on the first, second, third, or fourth Monday of the month. If it's a week, if we've chosen weeks, we are going to get, we could send it every Monday, we could send it every 2 weeks on Mondays or something like that. So we have a lot of flexibility of how we want this sent. For now, we'll go ahead and put it to monthly. Okay, and we'll go ahead on the first Monday of every month. Okay, and now what do we want to send? Okay, we have some choices. We can send a schedule, like remember we saw a single staff next day schedule. We can send a week schedule, but in this case we're going to send a report. Okay, so we'll click on report, and in our report screen, which I'll quickly go over, we have a lot of reports and we'll be adding more each time. Okay, so it's going to pull directly from this report screen and back to the email automation screen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select a report from the drop down list, and these are the same reports that are in the report screen. So let's say we got a monthly sales by staff. Okay, and this PDF is going to automatically be attached as a PDF. We can add other attachments if we want, but this report's automatically going to be added. And then we can send this to somebody specific. We can use the manager's email here, or we could type in manager, or we can also type in any other email we want to. But remember we set up a manager and a manager's email in the setup screen. So if we do that, it's automatically going to be sent to the manager that we have assigned. So we can send that here by typing that in, and there, now it's going to be sent. We could also BCC this to anybody. We can add any subject, and we can add any message to that. And we go ahead and click save, and now it's saved, and now it's running. So now it means every Monday at 8 o'clock a.m. and the next scheduled date, it's now August. And so we're going to be September 5th will be the next scheduled date. So we know that this is going to go out at 8 a.m. on September 5th. And it'll be on every Monday, the first Monday of every month, until we delete it or we pause this email automation. So that's a great feature. With that specific trigger, you can send a lot of automated reports to yourself or to your managers or to just about anybody with this automated email feature. We'll just go ahead and go through a few more. This is the remaining package. If there's a specific, if you're using packages, you may want to. If not, you want to leave this paused because you wouldn't want to start if you're not using packages. We have a birthday email. We do track birthdays in the contacts, so this email will send them a birthday. We can put an attachment here, maybe a voucher or a coupon or something. You can attach them. And we have all of these data fields that we can add, and we can just say something like hello. Then we'll put in the contact first. And then we're going to use Alt and Enter. we wanted to take this opportunity to wish you a very happy, let's capitalize that, we want a very happy birthday. Okay, and Alt-Enter again, and we appreciate your business. And then best regards. Okay. And then Alt-Enter again, and Randy. I didn't spell my name right. Okay, and then automatically it's updated. You can see it, and now that it's updated, we can add a subject. We could put in contact birthday. We can put in all kinds of data fields here. So that's updated. So now this contact's going to get a birthday wish every single birthday. We might want to attach a little card or something. But that's a great way to send birthday reminders without pretty much having to do anything. And again, for this one, you may want to display it a few times, but after that, take this display off so it just sends automatically. And then some of these are for the buttons. Like, remember we had buttons, and I'll show you, like email appointment reminder button. Okay, on the main screen we have send email reminders. If you use this feature, if you don't have it set automatic, and you use this button, that's the email that's going to be created using that template. We have email invoice button. Okay, so when an email gets created using this email button, that template's going to be used. And back on the email automation again, we have email proposed times, and you've seen that already twice, both on the main screen and the week view. And then we have the email week view schedule button. Back on the week view, when we email the schedule, a specific template is sent out. So that's quite helpful. So that's it for the email screen. There's a lot of features, so you want to play with it and see what works for you. And just don't forget to click running. Make sure you play the ones that you want and pause the ones that you don't. So it's saved automatically, so you might want to make sure that that's set up properly. Otherwise, you can delete some of the emails, and some you cannot delete. Certain ones, like the buttons, those are fixed, so you cannot delete those because you don't want to delete all of them. You can just turn them off if you don't want them. Okay, thank you very much. That's it for the email automation screen.